Welcome back to the Grease Monkey video channel. Before we get started, it's difficult not to notice that two problem-ridden, narcissistic, Hollyweird scumbags get worldwide TV exposure for days on end, yet not 1 second of the courtroom proceedings for Ghislaine Maxwell and the numerous victims from she and Jeffrey Epstein's child sex ring was even open to the public. What kind of twisted world are we actually living in? Next, before we get into all the bizarre food processing plant fires that have happened just since the beginning of 2022, it's worth considering what Klaus, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution, merging biology with technology, demolish the food supply, you'll own nothing and be happy, Schwab said about energy and food systems.
History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected.
That global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected.
Energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected, he says. Could it be that by deeply affected, he means that he and his trillionaire globalist henchmen will see to it that they're deeply affected? You tell me if what I'm about to show you is mere coincidence. This isn't a matter of one or two food processing plants being deeply affected by fire in the last 10 years. We're talking about 16 of them being severely damaged or completely destroyed by fire just in the last 4 months. Here's a quick rundown for you to share with everybody that you know on your social media platforms. This all started on the very first day of 2022, January 1st. Van Drunen Farms Tut Hill plant in Moments, Illinois sustained 75% damage to its 80,000 square foot freeze-drying facility due to a fire, considered a total loss by company officials. On January 13th, firefighters worked for over 12 hours putting out the Cargill Nutrina plant on Feed Mill Road off Highway 71 in LeCompte, Louisiana. The fire was caused by a mysterious explosion. On January 21st, a fire which started in a dehydrator at about 5:30 p.m. completely destroyed the Washington Potato Company in Warden, Washington. On February 1st, Harper's Market poultry plant closed after a massive fire destroyed their building in Hamilton Mountain. On February 3rd, Wisconsin River Meats lost all their processing equipment in a fire in Mauston, Wisconsin. On February 15th, Bonanza Meat Company was devastated by a fire in El Paso, Texas. On February 28th, an explosion and fire destroyed the Shearer Foods Hermiston plant in Hermiston, Oregon. It's said to have started with a boiler explosion. On March 16th, a Nestle facility in Jonesboro that caught fire remained shut down as of March 21st as officials continued to assess the damage. The Jonesboro Fire Department said it found a fire inside a, quote, large piece of a production line cooler at the plant. They also said that, quote, due to the construction makeup of the cooler, the fire could not be easily assessed. That was in Jonesboro, Arkansas. On that same day, March 16th, around 1,000 employees were inside a Walmart fulfillment center in Plainfield, Indiana, near Indianapolis, when a fire broke out. Crews battled the blaze for more than 75 hours. On March 28th, 50,000 pounds of food was destroyed after a fire ripped through Maricopa Food Pantry in Arizona. Just days later, on March 31st, a massive fire overtook the Rio Fresh onion packing facility in San Juan, Texas. Less than 2 weeks later, on April 11th, a fire destroyed the East Conway beef and pork plant in New Hampshire. 2 days later, on April 13th, a plane crashed into, of all places, the Gem State potato and food processing plant in Idaho. On that same day, April 13th, a massive fire destroyed 90% of a 225,000 square foot Taylor Farms processing facility in Salinas, California. Making the situation even more dangerous during the fire were the 35,000 gallons of ammonia the facility had on site, an explosive chemical that forced even fire crews to evacuate the scene. And on April 18th, the headquarters of Azure Standard, the nation's premier independent distributor of organic and healthy food, was destroyed by, you guessed it, fire overnight in Dufur, Oregon. Now, many will have us believe that all these food processing plant fires in a 4-month period is mere coincidence. They tell us that there are no nefarious plans to deeply affect the food supply. You gotta be crazy. But what does history tell us about psychopathic leaders who tamper with the food supply for the compliance of the masses? And if we don't learn from that history, are we doomed to repeat it? I'm telling you right now, America and the world better wake up quick. Let me leave you again with the World Economic Forum's Klaus, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution, You'll Own Nothing and Be Happy, Schwab.
History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected.
That global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected.
Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. I'll see you in the next video.